I read Robert Heinlein's juvenile novel The Rolling Stones for the first time as a 7-year-old, and I thought it was great. I don't know how I missed this one when I was a juvenile. Library must not have had it because I read and reread Red Planet, Space Cadet, Between Planets, and many others. I wanted to be a space cadet and ice skate the canals of Mars. My name is Brett, and this is The Beast Reads. The Rolling Stones by Robert A. Heinlein, published 1952, is a story of the Stone family and their sightseeing tour of the solar system in their family-owned spaceship. The book opens on the moon where the Stones live, with the teenagers Castor and Pollux visiting used spaceship lots looking for a deal on a ship. They go home to tell the family their idea, and after some good-natured bickering, everyone is on board with the plan to tour the solar system and do some trading along the way. Castor and Pollux had planned to get a small ship to go off on their own. But after the family meeting, it was decided to buy a ship big enough for the whole family. Shipboard assignments were handed out. Father Roger would be captain, Mother Edith would be ship's doctor and cook, Castor first officer and pilot, Sister Meade would be second officer and assistant cook, Grandmother Hazel chief engineer, Pollux assistant engineer and relief pilot, little brother Buster would be supercargo. Reading this in 2026, it was kind of jarring to see the mother and sister being ship's cooks. To me, it makes more sense to just rotate the kitchen duties between the crew, if it was mentioned at all. I will give Heinlein credit. Edith Stone is a highly qualified medical doctor, and Grandmother Hazel seems to be highly qualified at everything. During my research for this video, I discovered that Hazel, as a 12-year-old, appears in The Moon as a Harsh Mistress, and as an adult in some of Heinlein's later books. Heinlein wasn't afraid to feature strong female characters, so it seemed a bit odd that the mother was named ship's cook, even though it is a valuable skill and adds another dimension to her character. At least he included female characters in 1952. Castor and Pollux still plan to use the family pleasure trip to make some money trading goods to the system colonists. They buy used bicycles on the moon, and on a trip to Mars, they fix them up good as new, because of course they can. They are mechanical geniuses, along with all their other super abilities. They sell the bikes for a profit, and the Mars government steps in with taxes, tariffs, and other bureaucratic nonsense to take a big cut. That is definitely Heinlein putting in his anti-tax feelings to teach the boys, and us, a lesson. After their wheeling and dealing on Mars, the boys' next get-rich scheme is to follow the gold rush out to the asteroids. They plan to buy equipment to set themselves up as asteroid prospectors until Grandma Hazel asks them who made money in the other big mining rushes of history. She answers, grocers mostly. Boy, and did they get rich. Hardware dealers, men with stamping mills, everybody but the poor miner. So they stocked up with luxury goods, antibiotics, surgical drugs, and vitamins. In their dealing, they end up with a flat cat as a pet for little brother Buster. Flat cats are small, pancake-shaped Martian animals covered in fur and famous for their loud purr. Buster spoils the flat cat by overfeeding it, which kicks in its reproductive cycle, and soon the ship is filled with flat cats. The family rounds up the flat cats and put them into cold storage where the Martian biology takes over and they go into hibernation. Once they get to the asteroids, they find the lonely prospectors are the perfect market for pet flat cats. As they prepare to head back to the moon via Venus, Hazel announces she's not going home with them. She's going to catch a ride to Saturn to see the rings. The family look at one another and instantly decide to stay together and go to the Saturn. The book ends there and we don't know what happens next. I wish there was a sequel. I'd read it right now. There were a few passages in the book that stood out to me. The middle 20th century, just before the opening of interplanetary travel. I was born in the middle of the 20th century and I've been waiting for interplanetary travel to start my whole life. In another passage, they studied the ruddy orange deserts, the olive green fertile stretches, the canals stretching straight as truth across their flat landscape. That's the Mars I want to go to. Heinlein envisioned interplanetary travel in my lifetime, but when Roger Stone was talking to his sons about their schooling, he says, "I'm not concerned with any course that does not require a slide rule and tables." My father tried to teach me how to use a slide rule, but I found a pocket calculator much easier to use. I don't know how I missed Rolling Stones when I was a kid. I know that starry-eyed teenaged me would have loved it, because grumpy old get-off-my-lawn me really did. If you enjoyed this trip through a retro solar system, give the video a like. It don't cost nothing. And remember, Styx is the greatest American rock band.